How did you first get involved in fishing?
You know, being a kid, me and my dad always did a lot of stream fishing. We did a lot of brown trout, which were tough fish to catch when I was a little kid because I was only like, 5, 6, and my dad would run down the creek and I'd be like, where'd you go? And then you have to spook up on these fish. But I did a lot of stream fishing when I was younger, and then I bought my first house on the lake when I was 20, and I got really into bass fishing. I'm a huge bass fisherman. I enjoy it and just enjoy when that next bite's coming and figure out the fish.
What's your favorite body of water to fish?
My favorite, there's a lot of good ones. I've been lucky to travel across, North America, but just your local lake where you cut your teeth into fishing. It was the Otami River. It ran through Race Lake, which is close to my hometown, up to Peterborough where I lived. So I did a lot of time, my younger days, is fishing that river and kind of learn the river. And it's not always good, but that's something that where I really enjoyed when I was younger.
As a fisherman, what do you think is your strongest suit?
My strongest suit as a fisherman? I can't say losing my cool, because I lose my cool a little bit sometimes. I think maybe just adjusting. You get stuck in patterns that you're good at, and kind of going outside the box. Obviously, one day you could be catching on this, but then you go back the next day and try to do the same thing, it's not going to work. But just doing different things that's out of your comfort zone. Like I'm a shallow water guy. A lot of lakes that are where I'm from are close near to my house, are a lot of shallow body and a lot of good shallow lakes. But to expand, just to learn different things, and I enjoy fishing myself. You're not going to catch fish every day, but to do different things out of your comfort zone, that's, I think, I'm learning more, and that's what I think it's hopefully going to make me a better angler.
What's an aspect of fishing that you found difficult to master?
Master? Deep water, I think, is a tough thing. Obviously, there's stages of fish, and every year, obviously, being from Canada, we have seasonal fish where you can only fish them in seasonal times. So, like I said before, trying to learn different things and fishing deep is, a hard thing in my tackle box. It's fishing deep because, you could always run to the bank and catch fish, but when they're not holding up there, you need to go deep, and I need to learn more deeper water and different tactics to do that.
Is there anything in your hockey career that you've been able to translate into success on the water?
I think just having fun. I think, I try not to stress out too much when I was playing hockey. I was, keeping it mild, having fun, keeping a smile, keeping my teammates loose. That's what I kind of try to do when I'm on the water. Just to have fun, enjoy it. It's my kind of like my comfort blanket in a way. I go out there and just kind of worry about anything, cell phones or anything like that. That's it's something I enjoy a lot.
Are any of your teammates fishing buddies?
I've had a couple of fishing buddies. I know, Jonathan Tays, he's got a place up in Lake of the Woods. He's a big fisherman. One of my new old but new teammate I played a couple years ago with, Justin Falk, got out in the water with him a couple times. But your teammates are all across North America. When you're you're in their neck of the woods, you kind of get on the water as much as possible with them. But you just go back to being with my dad. Now I have 2 young kids that hopefully I can bring up fishing. They're 2 and 4, 2 girls. So I've had her on the water. It's still a little young to have the patience, but they know I love it, and hopefully they can love it too.
What piece of fishing equipment would you like to see developed that does not exist?
Some better sunscreen, because I'm a fair skin kind of guy, which I think it's a fishing thing. Like, you need to worry about your skin, and I know they're coming with new clothes and neck guards and things like that. A sunscreen that you only have to apply it once, not over the time, because my wife gives me a hard time. She's like, how many times did you apply today? I'm like, I applied once. You need to apply every 3 hours. I'm like, I'm fishing. I don't want to worry about putting sunscreen. Maybe they can have like a 24-hour sunscreen.
What do you think it will take to get more people involved in fishing?
Experience. Some of the things that I experienced that keeps me going is I love waking up really early, seeing the sunrise. I like to have, being there's only so many people see sunrises, or more people see sunsets, and less people see sunrises. So I just enjoy being outside and having that experience. For kids, to catch a fish. I know I had the opportunity with my young daughter. We got on some crappie, and if you're on crappie, you can catch it pretty easily. And you got her excited, and then she obviously saw the minnow bucket, and then she just wanted to play with the minnow bucket the whole time. But just to have that experience, the happy, the better. And I think that if you do that, and I think it's going to definitely develop the sport.
Do you have any rituals or superstitions that you practice at the beginning of an outing or during your time on the water?
Not to be late, I think, is the biggest thing. I remember I was with my wife. We had a tournament. She was my camera lady. And then I told her, I'm like, hey, we got to play certain music. We need to stop by and get a coffee. We need to, certain things that kind of gets me through the day. And we actually didn't do it because we were running late. Because knowing her, she was, it was my fault. I got the scheduling time wrong, so we were running late. We didn't do any of that. But then it ended up being the best day in tournaments I've ever had. So rituals, I usually have if it's a tournament day, certain music, stuff like that, and just make sure everything's lined up and all the tackle's right and prepared, and so nothing goes wrong in the water.
What's some good fish catching music?
I don't know. I like everything. Like, for being a hockey player, I like something more upbeat, more like rap that kind of gets me going for the game. And then for fishing, I like country. I listen to a lot of country back home. Usually, country comes out during the summer when I'm back home and being on the water. It just it keeps me relaxed and keeps me focused to, hopefully do well.
What's the best fishing advice you've ever received?
Just to adjust. When things are not going right, get out of your comfort zone, do different things that you really are not, comfortable doing, and that's how you're going to get better. I know like I said before, I'm a shallow water guy. I like flipping jigs and frogs and a whole bunch of different stuff, but to expand and learn from different tactics.
What's the most excited you've been catching a fish?
Most exciting? It was probably a couple weeks ago. Again, we had my wife and she was doing the camera, but I caught a 6.5 on a lake that I never caught anything over 5.5, and that 6.5 actually won me that tournament. It was elite series tournament. It was an invite only, and then my wife was videoing, and then they sent it to the truck and they put it on the internet, and so I caught that fish, and I was pretty jacked because it was a fish that won me the tournament, and it was my first win I've ever had. I've placed a lot of different things, but it was by myself, so it was all on me, and that was probably the most excited I've caught a fish. Especially, I've caught bigger fish, you get excited, but to have meaning behind that one, it was really cool, and to have my wife there too.
Tell us your favorite fishing story.
My favorite fishing story? There's a lot of good ones, a lot of good funny ones. I think the best one is, I think, saving someone's life. I guess I really opportunity. I was fishing in this home body of water. It's a river. Went down the river. Storm came through. It was pretty bad. But while I was going down, I saw a guy on the shore. There's like a little fire pit, and there's like a local spot people would throw some lines from the shore. And his van was there, and he was fishing. Then I went down the river, and then the storm rolled through, and I came back, and I realized his van's still there, but then I couldn't see the guy. And then he was on rocks, and he was older, he was in his 80s. He was laying in the rocks, so I was like, obviously, I was flying by, but then I realized, and like 2 seconds later, I turned back around. I helped this guy get out of the rocks, and he fractured his ribs, and he separated his shoulder. Being 80, it's tough to get up, and it was a big storm roll through, so not a lot of people were on the water, and it's during the week, so to help him, get back on his feet and get him back in his car, and he ended up going to the hospital that night and finding out, what he had wrong. But the funny story is the people I trained with, it was his grandson. So a couple weeks later, I got a thank you card helping them out and doing something good. So I think that's my best story that I have on the water.